the great Hazard Addict, but obviously you have to talk about Keen going back into the AWPing role as well. He didn't have his greatest performance over the last sort of couple of games, the one at Extreme Sun and the one in the CCT final. I think he was kind of caught lacking a little bit in a sense where he's now trying to sort of make that transition back to, AWPing, but that changes not just what he's focusing on, what gun he's got. He's obviously got to change his positions, how he plays the game, and that obviously has implications on how the rest of the riflers play the game as well, because he was one of the aggressive riflers in the lineup. So it does change a lot for SemperFi, and I think they're trying to kind of figure all of that out. But we're into the pistol round here, and we've already seen TJP get himself a nice couple of kills on the entry here. It looks like Rooster are just going to steamroll their way over that A site. The dualies in hand here for TJ. Maybe not even going to be super necessary, because it looks like the round is pretty much already over, but he is just going to be a little bit of a thorn in the side for Shadiy here, and that will eventually get brought down. So maybe a chance in for SemperFi.
Yeah, we'll see what we end up getting. If they can manage to take Terry's head off, then there would be a chance that Hazard's going to be given the opportunity for swinging around on long side, but Shadiy not close enough to trade. So things being a little harder now at that time, ticked way too beyond the W point, but at least he got a couple of crispy headshots to run out with some confidence moving into the next.
Yeah, we'll take that. I mean, you would like to get the round, but nice couple of warm-up kills there for Shadiy. Bit of extra cash in the bank as well, so I was going to say could be an AWP fund later on down the track if they wanted to sort of go into that in the first gun round. In the end, they've opted to force buy in this one. Shadiy's got himself the M4, so we'll keep our eyes peeled as to what Shadiy gets up to here. I think he's going to be the important piece of the puzzle for SemperFi. They're going to try to set him up, probably try to set Keen up with that scout, see if they can find themselves a pick from one of those two players, and then have a little bit of a look going further forward. Did I just hear a new sound? I don't know, but we'll talk about that in a second, because Rooster are just charging their way onto B. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Hasn't gone too well. Misery 777, that's TJP. He's down early on in the piece, but Slimy and Terry in there for the trades, doing a pretty good job. That bomb plant not quite denied, despite the fact that there's a player that's been able to walk out short. ASAP, the analyst, catching up with Savage. He knew all along. It's Keen and Shadiy that I did kind of highlight at the start of that round, but unfortunately they didn't actually get to activate.
Yeah, it's rough for him. But we'll see if Shadiy can maybe get something done here. He hasn't been full cleared out. Chell going to give it a crack. But with the A1S, yeah, he's just going to back away and look to save that into the next. Think about the finances, of course. But solid showing from Rooster so far. Faster approach on that B site. Successful. And with 3 alive, their money should be looking pretty damn good already. Into the third, it's going to be an interesting one. There's not a whole lot of cash in SemperFi. I don't think you really force around 1 and 4.
No, I can't imagine so. You know, maybe put a flash or two somewhere. Maybe Addict can buy, you know, a couple of flashes and see if they can set Shadiy up for something. But at this stage, yeah, it's looking pretty damn good for Rooster. TJP may have suffered a disconnection, or I don't know, something. We've got a pause of some sort.
Yeah, maybe just cheeky technical. Make sure no one's got that lag cranking. Make sure everything's feeling A-okay. Now, yeah, back to the nade sounds. They were interesting. I missed it. I'm guessing we wouldn't be playing on a live patch, but if the nade sounds are there, we must be.
Why would we not be playing on a live patch?
Don't we play on the old patch until we know that the live patch is stable?
I don't think that is necessarily the case for all these online competitions. I think that's only the case for like tier 1 lands.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. I'll keep my ears out. I'll keep my ears open, getting ready for this nade pinning sound. I didn't test it yesterday. I just jumped on, had a look at the new skins, and that was pretty much that. I didn't really. All I cared about, other than like the nade sounds, was probably the sub-tick consistency with the sprays. Apparently, it was like more sub-tick updates, which for me is a big dub as long as it's good. But I didn't know what I was going to look for, so it was late, and I thought, hey, I'll just leave this for another day.
Yeah, I haven't really dove into the update all that much. It from my cursory glance, didn't seem like there was anything too major necessarily coming through.
Yeah.
A couple of nice to haves, really, as tends to often be the case with CS updates. It's never usually anything too mind-boggling. So we do have a tech pause. That much is confirmed. Not sure exactly on which side it is or what it is going to end up being. But what I will say, Mac, is that, you know, out the gates here, very, very strong start from Rooster. You know, and that kind of concerns me a little bit for SemperFi, that we're going to see continued momentum coming through from Extremes. And like what I kind of envision this situation looking like is maybe somewhat akin to the Tyloo versus Vici of old, if you remember, during COVID, like 2020, 2021, that kind of era where Tyloo was just constantly battering Vici, series after series after series, and they could not beat them. They just could never beat them, even though we were standing there saying they're definitely a good enough team to be able to do it. I think they lost something like 15 series in a row. And then they eventually won that one series right at the end of the year, if you remember. And then from that point onwards, that Tyloo lineup just absolutely blew up. And that Vici lineup went on to become the current day Tyloo that we know it currently is. And it's kind of one of those things that, you know, you sometimes see where a team just feels like they're unbeatable. They have this aura of just invincibility. And then once that cracks, once that breaks, they never seem to be able to get it back. And I wonder if that's what's going to happen here for SemperFi, where they've just been on a bit of a tear in Oceania. And now that that floodgate has opened, Rooster might just run away with a few tournaments in a row here. Shadiy does get the better of Slimy, but Chell is very quick up long, so going to go quite swiftly towards the A site.
Yeah, no real breaks getting pressed at all. And Shadiy on 12 points of health will fall very bloody quickly, although we're going to see a dry peak at long. Chell just going to be able to run through all these unarmored CTs and get himself an upgrade for his troubles. There is still going to be that one player in bathrooms, but ASAP head on the swivel, ready for that quick flank, and the last player is going to be known.
He's analysed the situation pretty well there, ASAP. New bathrooms was dirty. He's all over it. He's a thinker. It's got the, you know, like in a machine, Mac? It's got like cogs.
Yeah.
He's got those in his brain, and they're always turning.
And they're turning? Yeah, that's...
Yeah, they're turning. Yeah.
Got those neurons firing.
That's right. Chell, by the way, apparently still in Sydney, playing from Viridian's house.
Oh, what?
So, shout out Viridian one time.
What's he doing in Sydney? Is he just traveling? Is he just...
Well, that's where the Extremes LAN was.
Oh, right. Of course, of course. So that's cool. Last time he played from Sydney was when he came, like, just got fresh off the plane, I think, back from a pro league, had to jump straight into a challenger game. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was, wouldn't say last season, probably season before. But bit of action was short, and SemperFi now have what is looking like their best opportunity. Man advantage, plenty of time to play with here.
Yep. Yeah, well, guns back in the hands of SemperFi. So that is a start, but again, you know, you've already given over 3 rounds on the T side here, and you go back and you have a look at what occurred on Overpass at Extremesland, and Rooster only got 5 on T side, right? It wasn't like an out of this world T side from them, but their CT side was really good. So I think SemperFi, they're going to need a lot on this CT side, and it looks like this round might be falling apart. I was going to say it's already a bit of a problem. I think that they've given up 3. If they're trying to maintain, you know, maybe only 4 rounds for Rooster or less.
Yeah.
And this one looks like it's going to be that 4th for Rooster, which not only is going to be the 4th, but it's also going to be somewhat of an economic reset for SemperFi as well. They will hold on to these couple of guns, you'd think. Are they going to go for this? Surely not.
They're thinking about it. I guess if you get the pick, it opens up a door on the retake, but nothing given to him. Rooster, beautiful discipline, not to overpeak, not to give any opportunity to SemperFi back in the round, and this is going to be 4-0. SemperFi, unfortunately, just can't win that B-side hold. The trade game just didn't go their way. And yeah, 4 already on the T side. I think Rooster are going to be incredibly happy with that.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that it'll probably be an easier shot at 5. Now, it's not quite that economic reset that Rooster were looking for. Obviously, with those 2 guns saved through, SemperFi are going to be able to scrounge together a buy. But they are really scraping the bottom of the barrel at the moment. And if Rooster wins another one right here, then, I mean, all bets are off. This could be a massive T-side from Rooster, and it seems like they're in the form to do it. So ASAP 5-1 at the moment. Doing very well for himself. He was the standout, like I said, at Extremes Land, top-rated player there, but Chelios right behind him there as well. And having Chell in Sydney means a little bit lower ping for him than what he's been used to, obviously playing from New Zealand, so I think that it's not been too much of a surprise to see him playing pretty well over the past week or so, given that he has been in that environment. I mean, the same thing for ASAP, actually. You know, so it's like almost a little bit of a buff for those 2 players that are traditionally the ones that are a little bit handicapped on Rooster.
Full contact straight through Banana is insane. Keen going to finally get some kind of information and even doubles down. But look, 2-man advantage. Now their best opportunity. But with Chell and Terry fighting equalizers like it's nothing. And there's still plenty of time to play with here. A-site in their control, but they know Long's dirty. They know that there's a chance of a flank. And SemperFi are in great positions to potentially win the round, but they got to win all their fights individually, and Addict's done a good job to get here.
Yeah, huge timing there from Addict. It's going to be on to Slimy to clear it out, and the flash is a good one. The bank position has her down to 15 HP. That'll be an easy cleanup for Terry. Now it starts to come back together. They don't know where Savage is, though. They've got absolutely no idea. You can see they're trying to clear out CT. Terry's been spotted out behind Truck. And with 10 seconds, Savage should just run. Oh, if he would have run back into bathrooms and hid. But Slimy catches up with him in the end. 5-0 the score, and that is a huge pickup for Rooster. Again, there is just about enough money for SemperFi to get a buy through here. The loss bonus obviously doing a massive favor to them, but I mean, it doesn't seem to matter whether they have guns or not. Rooster are kind of rolling over them at the moment.
Just can't put a foot wrong. Managing to read exactly where the holes are in the defense. Good damage from that HE. Little chunk onto King. Gets the info that he's looking for. Rooster starting just to take that playground control. The battle in con could happen at some point, but Keen losing the AWP like that is going to be detrimental to the round.
Yeah, that's really, really rough. I mean, that is not a fight that you can afford to be losing as the AWP against a rifle. ASAP, again. Oh my God. How's he gotten away with that? The analyst, mate. He's calculated the angles. Okay, he's done some Pythagoras. He's gone to math class or something. I don't know, but he's hit the 180 swivel flick. I think I played that one in a Tony Hawk game one time. Addict and Hazard. The dynamic duo that I talked about. Gonna have to get it done here. But Chell... I thought this was Chell. It's actually ASAP with the AWP. Just gonna watch the line here. And I don't think that Rooster are gonna speed things up too much. Just happy to slow it down. They know they've got the advantage. Don't need to do anything too silly. Cross the T's, dot the I's, get this round done. And it looks like they've made the right call to go toward B.
Should be getting in relatively free. Molly headshot. And nothing here to stop it from happening. SemperFi is holding their ground and holding onto their weapons for the next. You're looking at the money. There's not really going to be too much they can do. Yes, the max round loss bonus is there, but there's not a lot left in the back pocket after the purchase this round. So you'll probably just see, you know, these weapons put in positions to try and get some effective damage done. It's Overpass. It is Boost City. It's a place where you can definitely put these CT rifles in positions to find yourself picks, get yourselves in advantageous positions to potentially trade as well. Give us something from the old books, you know? Go for that triple boost. You're going to have a couple of CTs with what, Max Kevlar and a 5.7 or something.
Yeah, this is
the worst idea.
I mean, this is kind of what I was like alluding to a little bit earlier on. You remember when that tech pause was happening, that like once that Mirage is broken open, SemperFi now, like Rooster, I think previously kind of looked at SemperFi and thought we can't beat them. There's just something about SemperFi, right? But they don't think that way anymore because they have now beaten them. And they very nearly have beaten them twice in a row. In fact, they probably should have won that CCT final. Here's a faster play from SemperFi. They're going to try something through the flash. Chell going to get himself a kill, and then TJP able to recover from that flash before Hazard can double down. And so, again, doesn't seem to matter what SemperFi throw at Rooster. At the moment, Rooster are just coming out ahead.
Flash to Monster. Addict gets the info that they're still here. And wants to stay close with the MP9. Hard, wide swing is going to be defeated by Slimy. On the backside. And yeah, Shady's got a big job ahead of him just with an MP9. But they don't seem to be aware he was in the pit. Slimy crossing those T's, dotting those I's, and making sure no stone goes unturned. And it's just looking easy. Like Rooster are just actually looking like impeccable on Overpass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a far cry, right, from the overpasses that we were watching like 2 weeks ago, right? I remember watching Rooster play SemperFi, I think it was in CCT, on Overpass, and they were just getting absolutely owned over and over and over again. I can't remember if that was the Ali Valiance lineup. I think it was the Ali Valiance lineup. But there just didn't seem like there was anything that Rooster could do. They couldn't take any space on the T side, and now it's a completely different story. Like, they win almost every opening duel.
Well, can there be another one found here? There's your hits up. Keen bites off more than he can chew. Feeling like maybe he has to put a bit more weight on his shoulders for the team. But unfortunately, that has not gone the way he'd hoped. And Rooster just going for a slower approach this time, pausing, letting TJ search it long. And this is a fight that Addict can certainly win.
Definitely. Needs to be won, in fact, and will be. So that's a start. It's brought it back to 3-on-3, but Rooster's still taking a lot of space outside of A right now. Terry's been allowed to walk up close, and you got ASAP just making a bit of noise over toward Long, trying to draw a distraction. Now that util dump starting to come through, Addict has been taken down in the meanwhile, so Long's now cleared out. ASAP knows he can move forward. There's still a player on the side, of course, and Terry is the unfortunate one to find out where. Well, that's a great kill from Savage to grab and has a fast on the flank. So SemperFi finally have got themselves a round, but a Brass 7-1 Zil scoreline is not exactly where you want to be. Come on, Mac, you've got to pay that one.
How much?
How much you got? What's it worth to you?
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. How much do you need? You know, I'll help a man out. You got a mortgage to pay.
A couple thousand wouldn't go too bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How much? 2K?
2K. That'd be nearly a month of repayments.
How much is the new 2K? Like $50 now? Or is it like $100? PS5?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's 2K's a game, isn't it? Not an amount.
NBA.
Yep. He's switched on.
Well, Slimy's pretty switched on. That's another kill from him. One back the other way, but Slimy is wrecking havoc on this A site right now. Does not seem to be anything that SemperFi can really do. I mean, they were able to scrounge themselves through that last round, but Rooster are looking way too good today.
just don't think that there's any getting back into this one. SemperFi realizing it. They're just going to be licking their wounds. And should warrant themselves another buy into the next. But yeah, this is getting more and more dire by the round. So just checking. So I think it's like a week or so away. I guess after they finish these quals online, or this cup online, Rooster should just be getting straight on a plane to head right over to Sweden for Pro League. And they are coming in at the lowest VRS position, currently at 119. The next lowest is Hotu at 58. And then it just goes up and up and up from here, just through the stage 1. So that'll be a interesting time for them. You know, at least they got that land experience again coming through from the weekend, and hopefully, you know, going over to Sweden, they'll definitely get more land experience, but it just depends on how many games.
Looked like this was going to be a monster tunnel bust, but it's actually a bit more of a contact play. Slow and steady. It's going to win the race for Rooster by the looks of things as they find that entry courtesy of ASAP. There's a lot of players here on the site, but TJP has got some nice space into Dirty Water to catch up with Addict. Shadiy cleared out. And the short player Savage will be dealt with easily by Chell. I mean, it's just all coming together in all facets for a Rooster. Keen trying to make the difference. Finds himself in a 2-on-1 after getting that extra kill. It's still going to be a tough round for him going forward. In fact, impossible. As ASAP, just watching the edge of that smoke, says, no, thank you very much. We're not buying what you're selling. And Rooster are continuing at this cracking pace towards a map 1 victory.
Feels like it's been a while since I've seen a speedrun like this from both these teams. Usually we get a little bit more back and forth. Maybe Rooster have figured out that SemperFi aren't the strongest on Overpass. Maybe it's a map that they haven't worked on yet. Although, at least, you know, the 2 core of X Vertex should be pretty switched on. You know, Hazard and Addict used to play this non-stop. If you remember back to the Vertex days, it was like kind of a Vertex and Rooster would always end up on this, if not the third map, just as one of the picked maps, because they'd always love to play a lot of this map before it was removed from CS2 and then back in the CSGO days. And I think the main problem that they were having towards the end was that no one was pracking it, so it was really hard to actually get practice, other than if they both just sort of, you know, bent the knee a little bit and said, all right, screw it, we'll just practice against each other. And then they both knew exactly what each other were doing anytime they had to play it in the officials. So a rough position for both of those teams to be in. And sometimes it still feels that way, you know?
Always a bit rough when we have a tech pause. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's been a pretty enthusiastic performance today from Rooster. Again, across the board, everybody contributing. Siamy's been the standout now, up to 12-4. There hasn't really been a whole lot to speak to for SemperFi. Realistically speaking, nobody really pulling the weight that needs to be. And this being the CT side of Overpass as well, that's really, really bad news. It just feels kind of like Rooster have got their number right now.
What number is that?
1 round. That's all SemperFi have got. Looks like this is going to be a bit of a longer tech pause. So I'm going to take a short break here. Hopefully get that one sorted out, guys. And then we'll be jumping back in for what will be a very short culmination of the first half. Alrighty then, welcome back on in. Nearly ready to get back underway with this game between SemperFi and Rooster. It hasn't, unfortunately, really been much of a game, actually. Scoreline right now 9-1, favoring Rooster. They are kind of blasting SemperFi, and it does feel like that's going to continue for at least the rest of this map.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again. It's not looking too good for them, especially if they can't get their issues cranking. Maybe that's the problem. You know, a couple of the players for some reason could just be lagging, could just be copping the L of the technical side of things that it seems to happen frequently in Australia, even after all of our lovely infrastructure upgrades. You know, sometimes things are out of your hand. Sometimes if you don't pay for the internet and, you know, other people do, they might not get the best provider. So, you know, shout outs to all the good providers, and then, you know, the good providers or even the bad providers that sometimes are just good, depending on where you live. Kind of crazy.
What are the words that are even coming out of your mouth right now, bro? It's just words. But it's all good. There's bullets coming out of ASAP's gun, and again, another opening kill. And, you know, this is, again, another aspect of the game that I was sort of highlighting, right, where it's like Keen's transition back onto the AWP. If you remember when SemperFi was first created and built, he really felt like a big threat, probably the standout player on SemperFi, but I think he's been somewhat neutered. Maybe by the time he hasn't been AWPing, it's taking him a little while to get going. But definitely haven't been seeing Keen at his best since this transition back to AWPing so far. There's another example of him just getting picked off early in a round. Pretty easy does it for ASAP in that regard, and now thinking about a B hit here, Rooster, but they do have to be aware of SemperFi making that fast flank, and Shadiy does catch up with Terry, so he'll be down early on in the piece. TJP happy to just chill for the moment, but it looks like Rooster are thinking about cancelling on B. We'll see if that changes depending on what happens here for TJP, and ASAP also struggling in his duel against Attic. This is starting to become a little bit of a mess for Rooster. It was a nicely timed flank from Shadiy, and it's kind of thrown that spanner in the works for Rooster that it seems like this now has become somewhat of an unwinnable round. Slimy just about missing that timing, and Chell's gone down as well. So it's all fallen apart, and SemperFi will get themselves a second at least.
Yeah, SemperFi looking like they worked together a little better that time. Maybe whatever the technical issues were, we won't go deep into that again, but maybe they're sorted. And 3 on the board might give them some kind of hope moving into the second half. But we're not there yet. 3 still needs to be secured, and Rooster have money for days. They're going to have everything they need and more going into the final round of the half here. Except for Slimy, who's on a Galil. But look, I still reckon it's a lovely little weapon. Attic going for a slower monster smoke. Not sure the reasoning. Maybe just the lineup that he remembers. Maybe it's one that doesn't get extinguished by that new meta molly. Who knows? Would be something to have a quick look at. Either way, TJ going to be working some short control. In the meanwhile, Keen able to put ASAP on the skewer. There will be no analysis this round.
Oh, this time it's Rooster that have to find a way to recover from a 4-on-5 deficit. TJP trying to make some inroads over towards B, as has been his modus operandi on Overpass for a little while now. Tends to just be that extremity player, but not having any success this time around. Keen still figuring out where he wants to set up with that AWP as well, and he's going to walk right into the line that Chelios is holding. But the issue for Rooster is they haven't cleared out bathroom, and so Shadiy's going to get himself a freebie. Now it's on to Terry to ensure that he finds the trade, but he's getting swung from multiple angles. That's really well done from Addict and Shadiy. They secure that kill. Shadiy's patience is rewarded, though Slimy may still have something to say about that. I don't know if he's made a step there. I think he did. And so dealt with in the end, and that is the end of the first half. So a little bit of a recovery from SemperFi, but 9-3 does not feel like enough.
Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of on my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll, Lex account a blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
All right, back in for the second half here. 9-3 the scoreline. Rooster are feeling very happy about how things played out on the T side. Normally they have a very good CT side here on Overpass as well, so we have to imagine that this is going to be a pretty quick and easy wrap-up for them. Pistol round off to a decent start by the looks of things. They've already got the info that this is going to be a B hit, so they've got that stack in that direction. ASAP spotting out the player crossing in, and Slimy starting the proceedings as Rooster try to make their way out of a monster. They are met with the flashes of the gods from Slimy, and, well, the kills maybe eluding Rooster a little bit here. They have still got themselves in a good spot to start this round off. A lot of damage being done by those USPs. If not finding kills, they're certainly more than half the way there. Keen's been finished off by Savage there as well, so a bit of a team kill getting involved. It's a very messy pistol, all things considered, but it is going to be a pistol nonetheless for Rooster, and so the proceedings continue in the second half.
Yeah, you'll take it. You'll take the W, and it might just be a fast W. Could be a fast second half. SemperFi. Yeah, no plant. But they're going to risk the force buy anyway. I guess, you know, they go all in. And if they don't get it done here, they do have Mirage to fall back on, which, you know, they're relatively confident on. But, you know, it's Rooster as well. Historically, they've been pretty bloody good on Mirage. They're all Mirage gamers. They're all big puggers. So I don't think they'll have any woes or hesitancy over there. Looking like you got that sandwich smoke lined up to just try and make it a little bit more progressive. Wait, no, that's... What's he run through that? What's going on? Really deep short smoke. I guess that's to clear out the opposing side of sandwich. But hey, it's open to interpretation. Either way, Rooster slowing things down. Do have that little gap to try and play around. Might be able to catch a timing and sneak through both these smokes. That CT smoke on the front of sight's also a little bit awkward. So it feels like everything's kind of happening on the fly this round.
Yeah, very quick hit here from SemperFi now as it starts to kick off, and Slimy will be forced out by that molly. Chell just deciding he wants to kind of hide inside this smoke and play around it, but moving back into bank is somewhat going to give SemperFi the A site if they wanted it, which they don't. They want to go B. Now, this kill here from shadiy will be a big one if he can get it onto Chelios. It's not going to be onto Chell, it'll be onto TJP, but mission successful as it's brought it back down to a 3-on-3. And SemperFi in with a bit of a crack. It doesn't even look like Rooster want to go for this one. Terry's having a bit of a look, but they are definitely taking their time about it, Rooster, and that might be a real problem for them as ASAP gets tagged down low. Chell for one is not going to be enough. ASAP's out of there. He does not want a bar of it. That is a fall for SemperFi, and an unfortunate reality for Rooster is that they have been a little bit up and down against these pistol sort of force buys, even despite having a good run over at Extremes Land. Was something that I was kind of commenting on a little bit, and there it is again. So that is one aspect of the gameplay that could be improved.
I loved that flash. Just causing the full magazine dump. Terry couldn't see a damn thing. But it's worked out, and SemperFi now have a hope, no matter how small that hope is. A mere morsel. We'll see if they can close this round gap and make that a conversation. Keen. It's that front bathroom smoke. And looking just to set the boys up to go a bit faster towards the party side of things. 1-4 split for Rooster. Chelios just with that MP9 in con. Could get pincered into. Only when it spread and tick on him. And he will get crunched in just a moment.
He's been seen, I think. Yep. So that's an easy pickup. It's an interesting kind of conundrum for Rooster that I've seen a couple of times. They do often like this 4-1 split with Chell just playing some kind of weird angle up on the top side of the map. You often see him sort of floating around in bathrooms alone. But a lot of the time it seems like that does kind of get dug out by their opponents. Now, Bomb's in transition back over towards B. Terry is eating the grenade damage and will be finished off, but there's still 3 players here, so could go wrong. Maybe just spotting out ASAP there is going to give SemperFi a second thought, I thought, but maybe not. There's TJP for one. This is where it could start to go wrong. He continues to aggress and he will fall. They know that ASAP's there. They're not sure exactly where Slimy is, so standing and delivering on that site is Rooster, at least attempting to. But a 5th for SemperFi. So they keep themselves alive in this first map.
Doing so in a relatively healthy way for the economy as well. We rifle carried across. Mac 10 still in play, which is going to be incredibly useful for Savage this round. As you can see, Rooster are now down to that full eco, just making sure they can get as much utility on the board. Very important on that CT side, but that'll be next round. This round, we've just got a 5-man stack in con, which hasn't been heard. What do we got? Swing on the contact, Savage. Very much the right tool for the job. That molly is going to start to spread, but he can't quite find or connect through the top of the flames. Ends up being a bit of a 3-for-2 trade. Still good damage, but Sap now with the Galil in hand. If he won that fight. If he won that fight, he could have turned it back in Rooster's favor. Mac 10 with a dink won't be enough to polish him off. Has up, holding strong and keeping SemperFi in the round there.
Guns to come, though, for Rooster. So the job's going to get a bit more difficult for SemperFi here. No warp out for Chell, though. That may be of benefit. It's going to be the 5 rifle setup for SemperFi as well. Looks like just a bit more of a reserved approach from Rooster this time around. Instead of having an aggressive forward hold on the top side of the map, just a bit of cursory util dump and then back off and give space. So expecting something elsewhere on the map, potentially. Looking for that quick rotation down to B if necessary. Slimy's going to take a little bit of positioning on long. But SemperFi not really pressuring anything just yet either, so both teams sort of flying blind at the moment.
Okay. Airstrike attempt over towards Gent. Doesn't connect onto ASAP, who will reposition back to what they thought they might have cleared with the utility. Addict. What's that? Truck Molly coming through nice and deep. Chell on the back of sight. Won't be able to buy it. The time for the rotation's up, but they still have this long control thanks to Slimy being tucked into the corner, and he can activate super late. But Shady wasn't too far away. I say that though, and Keen's going to clear him right on out. Maybe wasn't tucked right into the corner as expected. And it's just going to be the full save called. So T-side looking better for both sides already here on Overpass.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a turn of events. SemperFi locking in a little bit more so on this T-side. Starting to make this map competitive where it otherwise did not look like it was going to be. It has, in this matchup, traditionally been a little more CT-sided between these two teams, but obviously they've got to the point now where they've sort of played it enough against one another that maybe some of those CT tendencies are starting to get exploited a little bit. Getting a little bit more familiar and comfortable with the T side as well. Not too sure, but you're right. This is kind of starting to look doable for SemperFi. Still a bit of a ways to go, but it's been a good T side so far.
Shady having a cracker of a game. Even in that first half where things were going wrong, he was hitting some nasty ones. I think he had, what, 5 kills in the first 2 rounds, and since then, found a bit more success. Everyone else kind of lifting around the rest of the fraggers. And a slower round this time. Looked like that Molly wasn't quite thrown in the intended location. Ooh. Chell's in trouble again.
Addict's 40 HP.
Okay. And Chell's going to keep on fighting. Okay. Yeah. The wide swing. The choice. It's good this time.
Yeah, it's just all that chip damage that TJP was able to do, spamming through the wood wall. It makes such a massive difference there. It makes it so easy for that 5-7 to clean up. And immediately, it is now SemperFi put right back on the back foot. Interesting from Chell, but Keen caught dropping, and the headshot does go through from Chell. It's a trade for Shady, but that re-aggression or continued aggression from Chelios has essentially won Rooster this round. Now, it's not over yet, but looking very good. Someone's jumped or made some noise there. Rooster should be pretty prepared. They are. Nice off angle from ASAP. And the smoke up to protect both ASAP and Terry. ASAP's going to be the one sent forward to look for a bit of information. He gets a nice dink in there as well, but Shady doesn't actually know that Terry's here. So an easy cleanup for Rooster in the end. 11-7. They start to close in on victory on map 1.
Closer and closer by the round. But finally breaking the streak that SemperFi managed to put together. SemperFi, however, still enough money to buy fully back into the 19th. So, incredibly crucial round for both teams. Rooster just to have the salvation of knowing they've at least locked in overtime. And SemperFi I don't really want that happening here. Looking to crunch con once more, which has been pretty successful other than that last round. Chell looks like he's got the info, but won't be getting the opening frag he was looking for. Bathroom smoke starting to fade, opening up the opportunity for SemperFi to take more bathrooms control. This time Slimy is going to be tucked in at long bathrooms. Has himself a nice position to fight one-on-one with Addict. Just pivoting around and making sure he's not getting flanked.
Yeah, timing will be pretty critical here for both Addict and Slimy. Slimy looks away as Addict peeks. He'll be a dead man. Pretty locked in at the moment. Bit of util getting dumped on the A site, but the B player's still holding strong. A resmoke in the monster tunnel. Here goes Slimy. Addict on the timing. Will catch him, but misses the shots. Not going to be punished for it. And that has got Rooster now scrambling on both sides of the map. They're going to decide on a 2-2 split. Hope that that monster tunnel hold is looking good. I mean, Terry in a perfect position to actually shut down this push down on that B bomb site at Monster. He's got ASAP there as well. Terry needs multiple, won't get multiple, and that should be the round over and done with, as TJP is going to try valiantly to hold on to the B site, but won't be able to. And that will be another round for SemperFi.
Yeah, we take him. We take him. Pretty clean, everything considered. And now there's just 3 rounds the gap. So, you know, the 3 rounds in the first half. Or 3 rounds? It was only 2 rounds in the first half, right? Was it 3? My brain. Oh, no. It was 3 rounds first half. Rooster won pistol, but then lost the following round because SemperFi went for the rare second round force with Tech 9s and won. Not something you see every day. But it's playoffs gameplay. And we're getting right towards the pointy end. And the cheeky small technical pause. Thank you. Love to be getting out of those as soon as possible and back into the action. Let's see what changes.
Sure.
And Terry's just got that late buy coming through. Opting for the Famis just to get the extra utility on the board. ASAP, MP9 and Smoke. So we'll see if he goes a bit more aggressive.
Well, this has got to be starting to get a little bit concerning for Rooster, I would say.
For sure.
Yeah. The 11-8 scoreline, it's still healthy enough of a lead, but given what's happened in the past between SemperFi and Rooster, you know, I think some of those bad thoughts might be starting to come back for Rooster, where they're thinking, oh, is this going to happen again? Again, a bit of spam damage there from TJP. Gets a headshot actually onto Addict in that meanwhile. Obviously through the wall, so nothing close to a killing blow, but damage is damage at this point. ASAP playing a very aggressive line. Somehow Chell's missed that shot. That's quite uncharacteristic, but ASAP could still get some work done here. He's going to spot the toes of Hazza and should be able to get that kill. Now he has to be worried about the push coming through from Connector, but he wants the AK and he wants to skedaddle, and it looks like he's going to get the gun and get out alive. He's back into the B-bomb site. Smoke up at Monster will keep him safe in that position as well. But it is fading, and he is in the Monster tunnel. And he's looking for another pick, which was almost locked in. Shadiy, down to 40 HP, will win that duel. Importantly for SemperFi. With 30 seconds left on the clock, Rooster still scrambling their way to B. They might still be able to hold here.
TJ, we're going to be mollied and naded and forced so far back. Looking like SemperFi are in a very good position to convert yet again. King going to be able to find that one, but TJ able to activate finally.
Low.
Yeah. Oh, gets the one he needs to. Latvians out of the equation. Savage in the meanwhile also found by Slimy. And just like that, it's Addict in the 1v2. This was a 2v4. Addict gets it across the board. Oh, Lord. What a little play out of him. All retrieved at the end of it, but that is clutch. That is the clutch factor you need for SemperFi to stay in this game, although that was almost a lost 2v4, Jordan. It's going the other way.
Yeah, Addict's very lucky that Slimy was just spaced a little further away from TJP than he would have liked for that trade. I mean, he had to spam through the wood wall, and he actually hit him. He hit him quite a number of times through the wood wall, but the damage was just mitigated by that wallbang damage reduction. The trade did not come through. And so we find ourselves at the 9th round there for SemperFi as they kick off another one. Already a scout tag onto shadiy. I imagine that's what that was. So not an unwinnable round here for Rooster.
You can see Chell just pausing, taking a second to figure out what they want to do here. And he's happy just to play deep on that A site, jump for info. Maybe call TJP for a rotate at some point. But Rooster looking like they are in conversation formation. Sort of just walking around, having a chat, figuring out where to put these pieces. Feel like a late boost at the half wall wouldn't be a bad call. Just to try and get some cheeky information on the short players. But there will be no boost coming through here. Double on bridge should be effective.
Oh, lots of players here that need to be cleared out. And ASAP keeping himself ducked down with that MP9 as well could be a real hassle for Rooster to try and deal with as they try to walk their way up onto the site. There's a couple of headshots through onto Hazard. And this is where it starts to potentially fall apart for SemperFi. Time, a real factor. 20 seconds. They're trying to wait these smokes out, but they don't really have time to wait. And they've got to go into the pistols. 12 and 9. Rooster take the round.
TJ's just managed to find a hole. He's just walked up through bridge, managed to catch a timing on the fading smoke, and just in that moment, no T's were looking at him. He was able just to shoot them all in the side of the head. The secondary cleanup crew, and that's why a lot of people are saying that the 5.7 is currently one of the best bangs for your buck in the game. Sometimes at, a bit longer range, very ineffective, but medium to close range, this thing is sometimes more impactful than what you'd find out of some of the SMGs. So, incredible opportunity for Rooster to put this first round on the board, but they still need to find one more round, and after a couple of clean ones, you can see there's still rifles there for SemperFi to play with. For a few of the individuals, not necessarily the best utility, but they've done a damn good job to give themselves some confidence and give, myself as well some confidence that Mirage could definitely go their way. Job's not done, though. Job's not done. Look, we'll give them that.
Job is not done, yeah.
Still a chance.
I mean, it's not looking too good for SemperFi here, though. P250 out for Hazard. Take 9 for shadiy. A couple of Glils there as well to round things out. I mean, it leaves a lot to be desired. So what is the option of choice? It's an angle toward B at the moment, but nothing too overcommitted yet. Smoke into dirty water there for SemperFi. Going to prompt out another couple of shots from TJP. He's really working this wood wall position. Not able to land too much in this instance, but has been doing quite considerable amounts of damage from that spot. Rushes over the top here. SemperFi running their way up short, straight into ASAP, who is ready, willing, and able. Gets himself 3, and that is going to be that. Map 1 done and dusted in the books for Rooster. 13 to 9, and they continue with their momentum from Extremes Land up against SemperFi, and this will be another tough one to come back from for SemperFi today.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough.
Obviously, another different version of this lineup. Going to have another attempt at it, or at least they're going to see if they can have another attempt at it here by qualifying through from the ESL Challenger League. And to do that, they will actually need to take this cup or one of the next 2, because SemperFi already won cup number 1. So they're locked in for at least a position to fight for that ESL Pro League slot. Whereas still a little bit more work needs to be done by the rest of the Oceania contingent. And you'd imagine that it will be Rooster that needs to lead that charge. Do you have SemperFi holding onto the A site here with just a couple of players? Going to be a pop flash into main. TJP go down early on in the piece. Chell good for one, but starting to get run down. So just going to have to back it up behind those smokes and play for the retake. Couple of taps in from those USPs. Not having any success as SemperFi opt to take a bit of control into CT instead.
They don't hard clear it though, just clearing all the close angles. So they could get in trouble, especially with Sap drawing attention away over to his side. Lovely couple of picks as well. Addict finally deals with him, but the numbers already thinned on the SemperFi side. Glocks though, tearing through. All a Rooster will be able to put that T-pistol on the board.
Well, ASAP's got to be disappointed by that one. He's picked up 2 very nice kills from the stairs position.
Yeah.
And then it's just fallen apart right in front of him. I mean, if he just ducks back into stairs instead of facing, maybe it makes a bit of a difference, right? And Addict has to keep pushing further around the corner. I don't know. But realistically speaking, that probably should have been cleaned up by those 3 Rooster players. They just didn't land their shots. And so SemperFi will get off to a good start here on Mirage. This is going to be cheeky from Rooster, as they have a very hefty A defense set up and planned. They seem to have read this one quite nicely. SemperFi headed in that direction. Molotov not going under balcony just yet. That's going to cause some problems. Slimy does get his head chopped off, but ASAP in there for one, and TJP's position as of yet, maybe unknown, unrecognized. He'll have to be a big difference maker. Does get that kill onto Hazard and then tries to accelerate in onto Shadiy as well. There's a flash over the top. He got the pink, but he didn't get the kill. It's in a winnable position, though, for Chell, with both Shadiy and Savage down to 1 shot's worth of HP.
Is he given an opportunity? Spots the crossed over. Oh, has the USB at hand. Okay. An opportunity given here. Jiggling. They've kind of lost track of where he's gone.
I think he's lost track of them, though, as well. He doesn't know that Savage has crossed into default. So he does hear Shadiy. It's almost as if Shady's trying to bait out the peak for Savage. Not going to end up happening. Well, Chell's just banged him right through the box. Headshot, easy as you like with that scout. And now Savage has to take the peak. Oh, Chell's going to miss that one. Goes for the repeat. No scope. No scope from that range. That's a Chelios round.
Oh my God, bro. That's a Chelios round. We were saying he hasn't, I was saying he hasn't necessarily improved in skill level over time. It's more been his IGLing that's improved. But hey, he's shut me right up with a play like that. Cheeky no scope, of course, you know, praying to the RNG gods. But that first shot as well, headshot through the middle of default. That's beautiful game knowledge. And it has fully turned the game on its head. You know, it's just 1,400 in the bank for a couple of individuals there. SemperFi have to go for the full eco, maybe even double eco to get back in this game. So CT4 spy has gone well for Rooster.
This is just that momentum shift that I'm talking about, not in relation to, you know, any map or series on its own. I'm talking more just in general, the matchup between SemperFi and Rooster. It feels like the momentum has shifted pretty substantially. Those kinds of rounds were not going the way of Rooster 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? Yeah. Before the roster change for SemperFi. They just weren't winning those rounds. Now they're winning a lot of those rounds, a lot of the time. So it just feels like, you know, all of that karma that has been built up, you know, SemperFi getting all the wins, Rooster basically eating shit for 6 months. It's like now they're finally getting all of the reward for that hard work that Rooster have been putting in, trying to topple SemperFi. And it's all coming at once. They've got to take this. I suppose you could call it luck. You could call it fortune. They've got to take it and run with it, whatever it is, and try and pick up a few big wins over SemperFi, because, you know, you never know how long that's going to last. You don't know how long it's going to take for SemperFi to, you know, again, like reintegrate some new players. Addict and Hazard get comfortable, where, you know, Keen get comfortable with the AWP. This is a weakened SemperFi, but it might not be this week forever. And try and make their way toward that B-bomb site, and Slimy on the perfect line to deal with it, particularly when that first contact is being taken by ASAP, and that's a really, really nice hold from Slimy and ASAP. A lot of money in the back pocket there for Slimy. 3 of those kills going over to the SMG. So, bank is building.
The other thought I just had as well is this might just be Chell playing on 5 ping. You know, something that he hasn't been gifted a lot of the time. I think it's like 20 to 30, high 30s sometimes from New Zealand to the Sydney servers, which is what you can assume that they're playing on here for the Oast Cup. So he's getting a taste coming straight from LAN and then getting a similar feeling online. Just the Deagles with a couple of bits of Kev brought up here, or even just the full deco. SemperFi hoping that they can find some damage out of the CT economy, but so far no good. And ASAP, he can smell a couple of eco frags a mile away.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad shout from SemperFi to go for a buy like this, because Rooster have been pretty susceptible to the upgraded pistols here and there. But this one looking like it's being cleared out reasonably comfortably. As let's get himself a nice kill onto Terry there. But beyond that, whoa, TJP, he's keen for it. And he's not going to get more than just the one. So pretty well negotiated this time by Rooster. 3-1 the score. SemperFi will get their first gun round underway, but a little bit later than they would have appreciated. And it's also allowed a build-up of the economy on the CT side, and that's everything that Rooster needs to have a strong start to this map. Noting as well that they've typically been quite good on the CT side, so we're definitely sitting pretty in the Rooster camp.
I'm just going to be left towards the back of apartments. Rooster feeling out the map and waiting for all these smokes to fade at mid. 3-2 split for SemperFi. Just playing heavier towards Con. And a bit aggressive on short just to try to pivot off each other. Top mid controls there for SemperFi. And, oh, Addict finds himself the cheeky little lineup. ASAP able to at least take one out of the equation in the meanwhile. Let's see what he's going to be able to do from short here. Ready for the smoke push. Ooh, sun's out, guns out. Lovely couple of shots. And just like that, Hazard keeps the numbers strong for SemperFi. I'm going to be making its way out of apps. No CTs here to stop it. But we'll see if they can maybe snag a kill. If this HE gets put in the right position. Hazard's done. Oh. Yep.
Oh, here we go. He's got it. That's it. That's going to be a kill. ASAP down low. Not too keen on this round, I don't think, but Chell sticking around, looking for a pick. It's not going to be forthcoming, and you'd imagine that Rooster are going to have to let this one slip. Savage deletes Chell, and ASAP gets the trade, but he can't go for this. He does not have the HP. He's got no idea where Addict is. And so he'll just take the AWP through to the next round. This has been a crazy start to the map, by the way, from ASAP. 10-2 out of the first 5 rounds. So, you know, in all of the shenanigans, Chell obviously winning a very, very nice clutch. I mean, ASAP is doing real work, but still the scoreline only 3-2 for Rooster. So SemperFi are troubling them at the moment.
I guess it comes down to the fact that there are only so many kills that you can get in so many rounds, right? And ASAP, he's going to be taking as many of them as he possibly can. Having a pretty solid showing from short so far, and maybe having another one of these rounds yet again. Flashing for himself. And, oh, gets a cheeky bit of info. Expects that airstrike, falls back, doesn't too over-ambitious with his positioning. As he knows, SemperFi can turn it on at any given moment. Popcorn smoke coming through. Addict looking to activate the instant.
Not going to be allowed to.
Oh, did he smoke it? He
smoked it. Yep. He's hotboxing the underpass there, Addict. Looks like it's going to be a short play for Rooster. Addict's just in connector to ensure any funny business gets spotted out. But this beat defense once again going to be tested. Now, Chell on that line. Oh, he could be dead to Addict here. He doesn't hit a flick. It's going to be Terry that will go down in the end. ASAP again for a double. Still alive, by the way, and Slimy also tucked in a bench. Hasn't had to come into play just yet, so this could be a solid hold for Rooster. Slimy, though, overplays his hand, and now all of a sudden this round's starting to slip away. If ASAP goes down, then SemperFi have the site. Chell cuts off Addict, who was trying to cut off the rotates, and there's 17 seconds left here, and the fact that ASAP has survived has been a real thorn in the side of SemperFi here. They can pretty much no longer win this round as long as ASAP lives. He has done such a fantastic job of just anchoring on that site. That's another 4K from ASAP. He's now up to 14 kills out of 6 rounds. That's why they call him the analyst, Mac. Who's they?
You and
no one else.
No one else? You don't think MC calls him the analyzer?
MC does call him the analyzer.
Yeah.
Actually, it's true.
And that's all that matters, you know? The heart of Oceanic CS.
We really are the heart and soul of Oceanic CS.
Yeah, of course.
True.
Of course. Yeah. Some say MC's even kind of the soul of CS worldwide. Unsung hero. Well, Keen's opted for the Hero AK, which can go one of two ways. It can be a waste, or it can be incredibly impactful. Terry just taking a little bit of contact on that jungle side of Con. It feels like SemperFi, they've seen this before. Incend going to be burning Shady to a crisp. And ASAP,
well,
he's going to spot a bit of extra info.
It's ambitious from Savage, the jumping Glock attempt.
Yeah. Someone's got to
work out.
try it. Someone's got to try it.
15 now for ASAP as he claims another one in that round. So motoring along in this first half. What's the biggest first half you've seen from any player? I think I remember a game from Addict on Dust 2 where he dropped something above 20 in the first half. And I think that was back in MR15 as well. ASAP's on the race to beat that. Got another 5 rounds. How far can it go?
That's a good question. Well, he's going to be avoided this time. May only get a bit of info if he comes over later on, although who's this lurking up? Con Shady. Might have picked his timing perfectly. ASAP sliding through actually keeps them all alive. And that full setup on the A site is impenetrable.
Yeah, I was thinking this round ASAP's not getting any, and then he got the last kill. You know,
yeah,
he's going a couple of rounds so far. 8 rounds in, 16 kills, 2 kills a round so far. And on the other side of the coin, Keen 0 and 8. So Counter-Strike giveth, Counter-Strike taketh. And SemperFi really, really struggling again here on map number 2. Top mid control is going to be attempted by Rooster this time around. Terry and ASAP do need to be a little bit aware of Shady with the Deagle. The flash in front of the boxes is a good one, but the shots are not. And ASAP will save Terry's life. There's another one for him. Now up to 17. Terry's back at the top of Con now, waiting for that push to come. Another kill for ASAP. He just cannot be denied. He's my short king.
He really is.
He's dead. He sucks. Can we get a new short player?
ASAP's
Maybe
quite
someone
tall,
better?
isn't he? You know, I feel like if you want a short king, you kind of got to be aiming for a little bit shorter.
I don't think he's that tall.
Well, I'm 6'4" and he's my height, so. I think he's,
Right.
Yep.
6'4" on the internet. Yeah, I got it.
Yep. In a heartbeat.
Counter-terrorists win.
Well, CT's winning yet another. And Rooster putting on a familiar pair of pants to map 1. 7-2, 5 rounds in the lead. Couple more definitely on the smorgasbord to be taken. SemperFi back on the gun game as they've got a bit of extra cash in the tank. 2 Galils in the mix, but utility for everyone. And it looks like has up, instant window. We are going to see SemperFi put more presence at mid this time. 3 towards top, 1 towards unders. We'll see if the brawl is going to happen because Terry's yeeting his way all the way towards the top, fully blinded. Oh, coverage from Shady's good. And there's the double entry, so SemperFi may be on for a third.
Yeah, ASAP dead. Round over. Rooster. Unsalvageable. Unless Chelios has something to say about it. We'll see. Does fancy himself. He's not sure which angle he wants to look at. But, might be about to spot Keen. He's out in front of this smoke, so could have been a problem for Keen, but in the end just decides to fall back into jungle. Yeah, 4-on-3 is not unwinnable, particularly with a couple of players set up over at B. And if that's where SemperFi go, I mean, the B hold's generally been good, although obviously a lot of that has come off of the back of ASAP, who's not going to take part in this round. But I mean, 2 players to hold on to the B side against 4 is not terrible odds. The first kill has to go the way of the CTs, though, and it will not. That's a really nice entry. Double entry, in fact, from Addict. And, well, that'll be the round.
Chell's going on an adventure. Looking like you might be able to find some more damage. Got to remember there could be some extra cash in the tank if you get these exits on the CT side. But also that being said, there's probably plenty of money for the next 2 final round of the half. What are we doing? What?
They got so much money. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I wanted to see the kill. I'm just going for...
Oh.
We just swapped off of it as it was about to be shown. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. Cheeky bit of fun. And a third secured for SemperFi with a chance to keep it real close at the half now. 5 and 7 would set them up for a much better second half than what we saw from them. Over on Overpass. Keen. The stick online. Just hoping to find something over towards short. If they can manage to, keep on destroying ASAP here on short without him doing too much destruction back the other way, then maybe we're on for one. Maybe we're on for a big old 3 mapper here for the first round of O's Cup.
Yeah, I still think there's a little bit more left in the tank here for Rooster, though. Want to be seeing ASAP get to 20 in the first half. That's the goal, I reckon. And again, set up aggressively on short. Needs to be a little bit careful. Oh, he's gone before the smoke bloomed. And Keen's just caught a whiff of him, which will be the end of the analyst for this round at least. So we're back again into a 4v4 as Chell will claim an AWP pick of his own. Terry lurking around in the connector, waiting for that smoke to fade. I think he might have just spotted the tip of Haz's head. Addict has got a bead on Terry, and he'll be able to shut him down, which is really going to put that pressure back onto TJP. Slimy over toward the B side, putting in some work here as well. It's a bit of a scramble on all sides. Slimy was so scared. I think he was even thinking about a transition back over to A. I'm not sure what the comms were looking like there for Rooster, but it's kind of fallen apart. TJP, he should go for this. There's money in the bank for Rooster, so he can have a crack at this 2-on-1. And almost found a time in there, but has spotted him out first. And so 4 up now for SemperFi.
Nice little setup flashes at mid. ASAP up on the cinder blocks. Oh, did he spot that, or was that just some nice timing? Keen baiting out the AWP shot and the extra information. HE blasting Keen down to 78 points of health.
There's just so many potential fights happening around the map at the moment. Savage, Terry, Keen, Chell. Terry's going to go down to Savage in the end, which does leave TJP with a bit of a job to do. He's kind of just solo holding this A side, not really holding it either. He's kind of playing for a retake. He's going to get that insend out for balcony, but it's not really going to stop SemperFi from making their way out onto the site. A lot of this might come down to Slimy finding a pick from short, which is secured, and SemperFi losing HP all over the place. They will clear out A main. ASAP up here on stairs, waiting for his timing, but the bomb plant not going down, so Rooster not feeling that time pressure just yet. Going to start to dump some util. ASAP again finding himself in the mix, getting himself another double. He does get to 20 by the end of the half, and it's down to a 1v1. Chell again, tasked with the clutch. Does he hear Savage on his merry way over to B? It doesn't seem like he did. But he might have spotted him. Oh, hang on, maybe he did hear him. Oh, that sightline. I thought he had an angle, but maybe triple just covered Savage's cross. Anyway, Chell very quickly on his way over toward B now. Smoke available for Chell. Does have a defuse kit as well. Savage is in the power position up in the apartment. And it's just going to have to be a smoke defuse here from Chell. He doesn't really have any other options. Oh, he's gotten quite deep in that position. Oh, the shots are missed by Savage. Yeah, a little bit unorthodox on that defuse position from Chell. And it gets the last round in the half for Rooster. 8-4. Righto, back into the second half here for a potential second map win for Rooster. We'll see. I mean, 8-4 is a pretty tough ask to come back from for SemperFi, but pistol round will be all important. 2 players set up over on the B site. Rooster just going to try and bust their way out by the looks of things. Hazard's got an incend that's going to slow things down. Oh, and that's a cheeky kill. I don't think he even really saw ASAP. That was just a bit of spam. So a little bit of luck, a bit of fortune goes the way of SemperFi. And Shadiy on the fast flank. We'll see if he gets cleared out by Terry. That could be a crucial kill in this round. It goes back the way of Rooster. So this is not done just yet. And TJP punishes Hazard for overstaying his welcome. Now it's Keen's turn to try and have a little bit of a swing. And really, this is just TJP kind of causing an issue over towards B. He's not even got any backup right now. But SemperFi have got no idea where this pistol round is headed.
Ooh, Julie's good position to have him, but I can't get past that one. Chell fighting the Glock headshot, and TJ showing how the Julies are supposed to be used. 4v1. Addict has been crispy at points today, and is going to be gifted that isolated fight. Rooster looking to lock it in. Chell being the point man, Slimy picking off the contact, and they'll just fight and swing together with the flash, but the flash is ineffective at best. Addict 12 points of health here. Julie's picked up. Are they cursed? Are they good? And can Addict find him tucked in the corner? There's the tap, and Terry activates instantly, saving the day for Rooster as the 1v4 is almost won by Addict.
Yeah, I gotta say, Addict is looking pretty scary in this game so far here on Mirage, but trouble is it's just not scary enough, you know. He would have to replicate something similar to the 20 kills that ASAP got in that first half to really make it feel like SemperFi got much of a chance to come back into this one. We've got another hero rifle buy for SemperFi. It's going to be the M4 in the hands of Keen again. They have obviously bought around it, but it is just one M4 that's going to be the most dangerous point of contact here for Rooster. They haven't spotted it out yet, by the way. There's also a big stack on A, which is where Rooster are headed. This is how things can go wrong. Keen, with that M4, shuts down TJP, and Rooster, they don't look like they're going to change the approach. They look like they're going to commit to A. See what Chell can get done, but this is starting to look a little concerning. Slimy and Terry working hard to recover it. Chell's got the B side.
Yeah, he's managed to lurk his way through in the meanwhile.
Knife kill? You know it. You know it.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. He thought about it. He thought about it. But not worth it in this instance. Got better off securing the round.
I like that. That's the mature approach, especially when you know you can edge out into the lead, have the man advantage, and get everything you need and more. And SemperFi, they love a good save. It definitely saved them a couple of rounds over on the first map. And here they've got a similar issue at hand.
Well, double digits for Rooster. Getting to that point in the game now where, again, it's kind of feeling like it's a bit of a foregone conclusion, which I do feel a bit silly in saying, just because so many times I've seen SemperFi come back from these kinds of scorelines, but I don't know, man. It just feels like there's just been this momentum shift over the last couple of weeks that I feel like that aura has been lost for SemperFi.
Oh. No, not just aura getting lost, but a couple of lives as well. Shadiy trying to hang in there. Keen won't be able to find himself that angle either. Okay, underneath is where Shady's going to keep doing his damage from. And in the meanwhile, you've got Chell, who has cracked open the B side of the map again. 2 rifles still in hand for the CTs, but this time Chell thinking about playing more aggressive, realizing it might be that short rotation. He comes back, brings the utility, brings the weaponry, and unfortunately won't bring any more pain. Keen, oh, the spread.
Oh, spread.
Gets him in the end.
All right, Terry. Oh, he's going to take the peek, but Shady catching Slimy was the real difference maker in that round. Terry had not gotten off the site yet. Nice round from Shady. Good effort from Keen just to try and slow things down, but it was Shady that made the real difference. And another round the way of SemperFi, but down to just the one gun is going to mean, again, that CT economy is hurting. Rooster have got a couple of players above 6k. They're going to be buying into this one. They'll be feeling okay about it. Is it going to be an AK in the hands of Chell here, I imagine? Someone's dropped one over to him. No, P250. So holding on to a bit more just for the AWP fund. Terry going to be taking the hero AK here and see what he can get done. Is this going to be a quick B-pop? Would not be a bad shout. A little bit of a tickle off that incend. I don't know if Haz has heard it. It was quite a deep incendiary, and they're going to try and bust their way out. Addict from short, not going to have any impact on this round so far. Terry got that opener onto Hazard. That hero AK making the difference thus far. The B site taken, the bomb plant down, and ASAP again having an impact. He's been a little bit slow in the second half, but now starting to get rolling in what is going to prove to be a pivotal round, as it looks like Rooster just going to charge their way toward a victory. SemperFi, they throw a bit of a speed bump in by winning that last round, but Rooster are the better team today. Well, there's still enough money for SemperFi to afford a little bit. A couple of bits and bobs. But it's definitely not the kind of buy that you'd want to be holding on to facing an 11-5 deficit. We'll see the instant window smoke coming out for Rooster. And a top mid smoke as well. Trying to fake that there's some intention of going toward middle, but looks like they might just decide to contact their way out onto A. No, they're setting up some util. It's going to be a full execute. Bunch of smokes, flashes, everything over the top, and it is just poor old Savage trying to solo hold the site with a 5-7 behind triple, and that's just been pre-fired by TJP. So it seems again that Rooster have got a really good read on what SemperFi are running. Another kill for Terry. Bomb plant down. And it looks like round secured and probably map secured at this point for Rooster, frankly.
Well, everything that SemperFi managed to do in that first half, unfortunately, didn't really help them out in the second half. Just couldn't get anything going. Chell just constantly getting that flank going from the B site, being an absolute nuisance. And ASAP, as you mentioned, was the short king, but just seems to be the overall king here, 23-9, doing a fantastic job. And this mid controller is going to be coming in 4-1 split with TJ on that lurk at A ramp. And these con members, Jordan, they are going to be in trouble in just a second.
Or are they? Keen and Shady getting it done themselves, apparently. They're a two-man army holding on to Connector.
Could be a bit more Counter-Strike to play. Keen doesn't seem to want to go for the peek onto TJ just yet. Playing with Shady. Able to pivot off of any contact found by Savage as well. TJ just trying to draw a lot of attention his way. Smoking Molly trying to stop that peek from happening. Shoulders spotted. Quick flick. TJ unable to connect. And Keen, oh, doesn't want to give that away, but will draw attention away from Savage to activate on the dark side, and Shell now AWP in the 1v5.
Oh, Ollie for Savage. Smoked out. So Shell not going to get his extra freebie this time around. 13 denied from Rooster, but it's going to take a monumental effort from SemperFi to pull this one back. Another buy to greet them, as Rooster have plenty of cash. Double AWP out for SemperFi, though. Saw Shady picking up the secondary AWP in a round or two on Overpass. Actually did okay with it. But yeah, little faith in SemperFi's ability to pull this one back at this stage.
Addict makes the jump. Had that info. And Hazard getting himself up onto the balcony with that deep molly as well. Shouldn't have been heard on the jump up, but will take his moment. Picks it perfectly. As Slimy also caught with util in hand, unable to trade. And just like that, you got that two-man advantage. SemperFi in a very good position to secure yet another round. Oh, and that's going to do it. King posted, punishing the slow peek from Chell. Things going from bad to worse with Terry catching that HE on the face.
Oh, and a bit of spam damage as well. ASAP's just set up in middle, hoping there's going to be some kind of push from SemperFi, but very unlikely that that will be the case in a 5v2. So, a couple of calming rounds for SemperFi here. But I don't know if they're quite enough to really start to build that belief yet. So we probably have to get to maybe 10-12. If they get to 10-12, they might start to believe that they can do it. But right now, it's still a big stretch goal for SemperFi to reach a 12-12 OT scoreline. Two guns taken through, though, for Rooster. Chell can buy. Slimy can sort of buy.
Yeah.
So TJP will probably be down to a pistol, but otherwise, actually, the buy doesn't look that bad for Rooster. You've got a little for Slimy. TJP often tends to be that guy that's, you know, running with a Mac-10, running with a Tech-9 anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Rooster will be too perturbed by the fact that they've got a substandard buy. It's actually not too bad for them. We'll see how this round ends up playing out. Again, bit of util dumped in toward middle here from Rooster. They've honestly not really fought for mid-control all that much throughout this half. So, interesting to know that Keen is there watching for it this time around. He's having quite some success on this CT side with the AWP so far.
Oh, Addict. Increasing the woes of Rooster here. Sap trying his best. Bro, this double AWP setup is interesting, but we'll see if it's effective.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if I'm hugely stoked about the way that Rooster are playing out this T side if they're going up against a double AWP setup. I mean, it feels like, you know, just a lot of dry peaks onto angles, you know, shift walking onto lines. And if you've got a double AWP on the CT side, Surely that's not going to be the play for Rooster long term. They've got to figure something out. They've got to change something up. Because this is starting to get concerning. Addict on the hunt. He will fall. SemperFi got to be pretty careful that they don't lose too many guns here. Although I suppose they will be able to reinvest into any given round as long as they're winning. So it's probably a moot point.
Counter-terrorists win.
Open AK taken through. Should just be a save here for Rooster, though. So this is starting to get a little bit more tense than they would like. A little bit of pistol armor for a couple of the members. Just ASAP actually upgrading to the armor. A lot of this is going to come off of Chel's AWP. If he can find any openings, then maybe there's something back into this round for Rooster, but otherwise, I imagine it'll be another one for SemperFi.
I guess we'll just see what the options are for them. It's very spread. Defaulting, looking to punish any CT aggression, which we haven't really seen. Rooster just getting punished for maybe overextending themselves. Like Terry, solo at bottom mid, not necessarily a great place to be, is trying to use that CT smoke to try and isolate a couple of angles. And we'll be joined by TJ and Chel. Chel on that line, hoping to punish a peek from jungle side. It's going to be Savage at range at triple, just to look to tap a couple of heads here. Has up, deleting the pressure from ramp side. And there you got ASAP and Chel hoping to find anything in the round. And Sap's managed to make his way through B. Wait, he hasn't been seen.
Yeah. 20 seconds left in the round, though. Chel is on his bike. ASAP needs to get this kill, and he needs to get it now. That's a huge timing. Can he get one more, though? That's the thing. Not quite, but does allow at least the bomb plant, which is going to reinforce the buy in the next round. Surely Chel can't get this done 1v4 with no HP. He will be brought down by Addict. Might have been a heart-stopping moment for a second there for SemperFi, but they now are up to 9.
Certainly kept us guessing for a second there. We'll see how it keeps on playing out, because yeah, it's getting a little bit spooky, getting a little bit scary in some moments. You can see that there was that AWP down after Sap got the kill. He was very interested in getting his mitts on it, but unfortunately for him, he just wasn't able. But at least they got that bomb plant, so they got that extra cash in the bank. Moving into round 22. SemperFi once again looking to complete the comeback. Send it mid, flash forward. CT's trying to deny as much of this T aggression as possible. And ASAP trying to find a line across those top of the smokes.
Man, just feels like this kind of like default split gameplay from Rooster keeps getting dealt with. Someone keeps getting picked somewhere on the map every single round. This time it's Terry that's going to go down to the nades in Underpass. I almost feel like Rooster had a lot of success a little bit earlier on where they were just grouping up and hitting sites, you know, where they were 3 or 4 guys trying to hit B, 3 or 4 guys trying to hit A. I'm surprised they haven't gone back to just an execute on A. TJP gets an opener onto Hazard. Maybe this can be the straw that breaks the camel's back. SemperFi have nobody else over toward B. Shady is now starting to come swinging across out from door, but again, TJP good for one. TJ still holding on to that position as Chell will plant the bomb. And it's a bit of a scramble now for SemperFi as they don't have anybody close. And a contest up short by Addict solo is going to be a bit of a problem. Savage does get himself one, but now he's going to have to get three as Chell got keen, and this could be it. Finally, Rooster. They have been working hard for the map victory, and they will get it. 13-9. It was just too much to recover from for SemperFi. That 20-kill half from ASAP. It fell a little bit flat towards the back end, but he still ends up with 24 kills for the map. And Rooster, once again, find themselves a series victory over SemperFi, a 2-0 this